What is going on, guys? We're trying out the Commando Carbine today, a weapon we had a chance to unlock in week 4 of Tides of War. It was most recently buffed not too long ago, so I wanted to give it another go and see how well the buff has improved this weapon. What really made this gun interesting was it was able to give you a one headshot kill in those close quarter combat ranges, and was the first of the bolt action carbine weapons to make it to the medic class, giving you an all new way in playing than the traditional submachine gun way. The big feature of this gun was its suppressed bullet sound, making it the first suppressed weapon in Battlefield 5. Now, normally I enjoy suppressed weapons on the battlefield, so personally I was pretty excited when this gun first came out. But after playing with it for a little bit, we all began to pick up on the fact that trying to kill anyone from those mid-range distances was a struggle, and shooting anyone further than that wasn't really practical at all. So if you're going to try doing that, you basically were going to unload a good chunk of your ammo on that one guy that you were trying to kill from those further range distances. So basically, unless you came in and you nailed all of your headshots in those close quarter combat battles, you were just better off using the SMGs, because the range on the gun wasn't all too impressive and the bullet velocity was so poor that really you could never take advantage of the suppressed nature of this gun, which you think would be a pretty big deal. So thanks to this buff, we now have a 2-hit kill range from 30 meters to now 50 meters. We have increased distance, which a headshot and a body shot are lethal, from 50 meters to now 75 meters, and we now have the increased muzzle velocity that we needed for this gun. And after trying this out, the gun stock is pretty manageable in my opinion now. What really drove me crazy about this gun was its bullet velocity, and as much as it's a pain trying to kill someone from those mid-range battles, watching how slow the bullets would travel for me was just completely agonizing. So unless the enemy was just standing completely still, it felt like you just had no chance on finishing off that player who was moving. But now with the gun buff, and with it just stock, it's much more reasonable, and you can actually hit players who are moving finally. The increased range is also helpful, because now you don't really have to rely on playing close quarters and hoping to get that one headshot kill. But you can actually do damage in those mid-range battles, putting again those 2-shot body kills on enemy players. It's not going to be the all-great perfect gun, and stat-wise it's still kind of mediocre in my opinion. I mean, granted, those one headshot kills close quarters are great, but if you miss that one shot and you only get a body shot, the player you're trying to finish off is going to gather themselves and they're going to quickly finish you off. What makes this weapon good, in my opinion, is being able to take advantage of the suppression it provides and getting in spots where you're close enough to do damage, because again, it's really a mid-range gun in my opinion, but you're in an area where they can't really tell where you're at, and you're using suppression, so the enemies just can't figure out where these bullets are coming from. It's also kind of fun to flank with, because no one can hear you, and you literally can start sneaking up behind players and picking them off one at a time, and the enemy players just really have no clue what's going on. So if you're the player who doesn't really like posting up somewhere and you'd rather play aggressive, you can try flanking with this gun, because it is pretty exciting. You now know you have to finish these kills as quick as you can, because the moment one enemy player realizes what's happening, you're going to find out that you're really going to have to rely on getting those one headshot kills. But nevertheless, it was pretty fun to try out this gun. Now, this gun stock, like I said, is reasonable with the buff, but with the specializations, it does begin to make it a bit interesting, because we do have the high velocity bullets, which you do begin to notice. Again, you could go without it, but I would recommend sticking with the high velocity rounds. Your alternative would be choosing the improved accuracy while moving, which is kind of nice, but unless you're playing aggressive, I wouldn't recommend it. Again, it just kind of depends on what you'll be doing more, if you're going to play aggressive or be posting up more. But for me, I wanted to use this gun mid-range mostly. And again, this is a carbine, so I didn't want to challenge anything really in this close range, and kind of wanted to challenge more of those mid-range battles. And maybe when the time called for it, if I needed to go and try to push in, I could try taking advantage of the suppressed nature of the gun to compensate for the missed opportunity of the increased accuracy and the painfully slow rate of fire that this weapon has. You do get to choose the machine bolt if you go down this route, which does move your rate of fire up from 97 to 109, but considering that these carbine weapons are the second slowest rate of fire guns in the game, next to the sniper's bolt action rifles being the slowest. Don't expect this specialization to suddenly make the rate of fire so drastically improved or anything like that, but at the end of the day, it's still better than nothing. And then when it came to the last part of the specializations, I chose the extended magazine, which felt required before the buff because, again, you had to put so many shots on enemy players that you basically were running out of ammo so quick. But now that it's more manageable to kill players in those further distances, it's not all too bad, so it makes having this extended magazine just nice to have equipped. And then, of course, the first one I chose was the quick game because, hey, if you're going in guns blazing, you're really going to have to get those headshot kills, so you want to be able to aim down sights as quick as you can. Again, though, like I was saying earlier, this gun isn't meant to be the most amazing gun stat-wise, but it's good enough to get the job done. And if you're really taking advantage of suppression and considering how Battlefield has a visibility issue, and you're really relying on hearing the enemy's weapons to pinpoint exactly where they're at, you would think this gun could possibly get to be one of the better guns in the game if used right and you can manage that slow rate of fire and the distance where you're battling enemy players. But what do you guys think about the buff to this gun? Do you think it could use more, or is it good enough? Feel free to let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments below. But that's it for you guys today. Again, I always appreciate you guys being here. I am Livin'. I'll catch you guys again later.